Hello everyone. Welcome to the another episode of Product Management Interview Experience. I am Sugat, currently working as a product manager at one of the big tech companies. Today we have a very special guest, Shubham, who has recently broke into product management. And Shubham was a peer of mine in my MBA B school days. And without anything, Shubham, welcome to the channel.
Hey, hi Sugat. Hi everyone. Thank you.
Shubham is an exceptional candidate who has actually changed his stream almost after 8 to 9 years of work experience. And how he was a non-technical and from a different background altogether, operations management, he broke into product management. So we're gonna talk in this entire video about his journey, why he thought of switching his career to product management from a well-established operation management, and how was his interview experience was all about. Before starting the video, I would request all the folks to please like, share, and subscribe this channel so that it reaches out to more viewers and help them to break into product management. So let's get started. Shubham, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Should I share my screen and start it?
Please go ahead. Yep.
Sugat, thank you for a brief introduction, first of all. And just so to tell about myself, yes, so cumulative 8 years of total experience, out of which close to 5 years was pre-MBA, after which I decided to pursue MBA and ended up into consulting and now currently into PM role. I started my career way back in 13 with a government organization called Gujarat State Fertilizer and Chemicals. Being a mechanical engineer, I was into pure play operations role where I was managing, inventory, doing purchases of the spare parts of the machinery. So it was completely non-tech role. I was there for close to 5 years, managed inventory worth of 100 crores, managed like close to 100 people at the fag end of that tenure. So yeah, it was a great experience there. Then I decided to pursue MBA. I was keen on the business side of the work rather than on the very technical part, mechanical part, and hence I wanted to pursue MBA. Went to SP Maya, pursued my MBA, and ended up into a firm called Vector Consulting, which is one of the largest TOC based, theory of constraint based consulting firms in India and Asia. So worked there for about an year and a half and changed, worked into another firm called Meback Consulting, which is a German firm specializing in supply chain management. So yeah, close to 8 years of experience entirely into supply chain domain and operations management domain. Post MBA, very clearly into business consulting. And then right now I am working as a product manager at Solv, a Standard Chartered venture organization.
Great to know, Shubham, and thanks a lot for sharing your journey. And you have a very diverse background, starting with the mechanical engineering to operations and supply chain, business consulting. Let's deep dive into a bit about the word operations and supply chain. I think it's a widely spoken term and as being one of the stream in the B schools. But for the folks who are not aware of this particular area, why don't you just give a brief intro on that area?
Sure. So uh, basically, operations management deals with anything after one's sales order has come in, just to fulfill the order, let's say. And that sales order could be, of a chemical in a chemical organization. It could be of a FM. If we are talking about an FMCG org, it could be about delivering FMCG products like, I don't know, soap from ketchup or grocery product. It could also be technically about delivering IT products, any software product, once you have received an order to deliver it. But the IT world works in a very different manner. So generally, operations management deals with the manufacturing part of it, but not strictly. So just to cover everything, it takes care of all the planning work that goes inside manufacturing those products, from purchasing the raw material, planning for purchasing the raw material, and planning for purchasing the spare parts that go into manufacturing, apart from the raw material, upkeep of the machinery. A branch of operation management supply chain also deals with forecasting the demand. So everything that you see about the SNOP planning, which is sales and operations planning, that okay, next year what are the numbers that we are going to do, and hence the budgeting for the raw material, and hence the budgeting for the manpower. So that kind of work also falls under the ambit of operations management and supply chain. Capacity planning as to, as I said, what is the amount of capacity, and that capacity can be in terms of machinery or manpower or any resource that is required to fulfill the end product or the service. And yeah, maintaining the quality. So it is technically anything, anything and everything you do to fulfill an order, fulfill, and that order could be of a product or a service, falls under the ambit of operations management and supply chain.
Got it, got it. Thanks, Shubham. I think just to take an easy example, maybe let's say you're buying something in Amazon or Flipkart, right? You see the tech, you can easily place an order through website or mobile app. But after placing an order, the entire journey of uh, the product getting delivered to your house is, I think, all
A
about
part of,
operations and
yeah,
yeah.
it's a part of operations and supply chain. So after that click happens and the payment is through, the entire cycle of of starting the the entire journey of the goods is under the ambit of operation management. And I would say not only after that, I mean there are few branches or few work streams of operation management which is even works before that, as to what is the amount of inventory that has to be planned, so that you are able to see that product online if it's an inventory model and buy it. And like a few branches that would work even before placing an order. But yeah, full in all, yes, that's what you say.
Great, great. I think I totally can relate. It's completely a different background from what we have been talking to other folks like sales, marketing. But yeah, good to know about the operation management and supply chain stuff. Cool.
Thank you.
So, Shom, I'm pretty sure your journey to break into product management, and before that also, right? What happened all of a sudden that you thought of becoming a product manager with a well-established consulting and operations job? Let me please feel free to share your thoughts, and how was your journey altogether into breaking into PM? What all steps do you did, right? So would be glad to know and listen to it.
Sure. So, as you said, that I had a kind of decent life and I was working in consulting, and I wouldn't deny that that was a comfort field of mine, because I was doing business consulting for the work that I had done in my pre-MBA work also. So some of it I had done it, and then the knowledge of MBA helped me do it better and help advise people. But eventually, what I felt in that 2.5 year of my business consulting was the world is moving digital, and I am lagging. That was a clear thought, that I don't have much knowledge about it, and the future is going to be digital. And mind you, I was not into IT consulting or digital consulting, but I was into pure play business consulting, where I was solving problems, trying to help people gain the market share, or lower their operational costs so the bottom line becomes better, or trying to increase the sales of an organization, a pure play business part of it, and which has very limited touch from the technology. And gradually I started feeling so in my interaction with the client, that the world is moving towards digital, and hence I wanted to learn the digital part of the world. That was one of the main, I would say, points that I decided, okay. And along with that, this PM product management job or title role was buzzing around, especially after the COVID. So, I just picked up my phone, and including yourself, I have quite a few friends who are into well-established organizations and working as a product manager. So I guess this journey started with just knowing that, okay, what is it? I mean, what does a product manager do? Is it something really what I am looking for, or maybe it's not my cup of tea? So when I actually spoke with a lot of friends in my network, then I got to know that okay, there is a quite skill overlap as to what they are doing. I am delivering products. Eventually, they are also into business part of it. They are also worried about the top and the bottom line of an organization. Like a friend working with a SaaS organization who's trying to engage people online better into various platforms, was trying to describe me as to how his metrics kind of are, how he can get more people onto a particular platform and increase sales. So ultimately, I could tie whatever he or she said to me to either what I was doing. It was just a different method of doing, the IT method of doing, and I felt that okay, this is what the future looks like, or at least this is what I believe the future looks like. And yes, then I decided okay, let's do it. Let's give it a try. So once that happened, I try to map a few skills okay, what is the skill that is required? I mean, ultimately, it's that. I mean, you want to become a particular person in an organization. You want to gain a title, and you should have. If you have that skills, then you have completed your part. I mean, of the work, right? And then there can be luck and a lot of other factors that pitch in. So I started with knowing the top 4 or 5 skills that a PM has. So what I got to know is the first principle thinking, problem solving approach, stakeholder management, because that's I believe the most difficult part of it, and the most talked about as well, because you as a PM have to manage different set of people and then uh, you know make them appear on the same platform and deliver your assignment or product or whatever. So yeah, these three is what I would say. First principle thinking, stakeholder management, and problem solving skills are the primarily three skills that a PM should definitely have. And luckily, I also had same kind of skill set. Now, the skill set which were required in addition to it, which is like you know talking to a tech team, because any IT product that you deliver as a PM will come from software developers, and they are a breed of people who understand certain language when they are on work. So how do you talk to them? How do you mix with them, and how do you make them understand what are the business requirements? Because not every software engineer would understand what the business is trying to do. He or she is marvelous in his coding and can deliver you wonders, but does not relate, or maybe not always relate to what the business is trying to achieve by his goal. So how do you bridge this gap? So I had to acquire those skill as to how do you work with the techies of the world. So this is something that I also know. I spoke to a lot of people. I read a lot of things on the internet. Then I watched a few YouTube videos around as to how a basic software is developed. What are the principles behind it? What is waterfall? What is agile methods? Like, what are the methodologies that are followed when you want to develop a software? So waterfall, agile, scaled agile, which is also being talked about. And along with that, what are the tools that a PM uses or are used in the entire software development life cycle? So while the developer will use the coding tools and all, what is a tool that people around the development team to manage the entire process using? Then I got to know that okay, in the agile method of working, there is something called Scrum, and there is a Master, and he is responsible or she is responsible for entirely managing the project. So I basically talked to people. I got to know, or tried to get to know what how a basic software or a product is developed. I already luckily had a business sense as to why would you want to develop it, or what is the end game, or what is the end thing that you're trying to do. Mixed with that, I armed myself on this journey. Another major point that I would want to highlight here, so with that, my resume didn't sound like a product manager resume. So I had, while I am able to speak these words right now, SDLC, Agile, Waterfall, or talk about the tools called Azure DevOps or Jira or Confluence or anything. My resume had none. So I had to realign my resume just because to have that platform and tell the interviewer or the person in front that you will be able to deliver on this job, you first need to have that seat across the table, which only resume can get you. So that is again where I reach my friends, honestly. So network is something that helped me a lot to tweak my resume. Plus, I had delivered certain IT tools to accomplish my things in business consulting. Not in all the assignments, but in few assignments. So that helped me a bit, I would say, in writing that okay, I have a some kind of relating background to delivering products, IT products. So this is what I would say how I started and what I did basically.
Hey Shubham, thanks a lot. This is really interesting, right? I think what I really liked or enjoyed about this discussion was, you had an idea that you want to reach from point A to point B, uh, and then you started talking to people, finding out what is that point B all about. Do you really want to go there, or is it not a cup of tea? So and after that, right? Once you have identified, yes, this is something you all can do and all, you started finding out what were your strengths and what were your lacking part, right? And you have very well managed it in playing on your strengths and also learning what can be improved and what you were not aware of, and followed by picking up your resume, talking to friends, giving mock interviews, learning about it. So that's a great part about your entire journey, where you tried understanding what that particular role is all about, and will you be a good fit or not, and then started working on your lacking areas. So I think folks who are also willing or from different streams, let's say sales, marketing, tech, try understanding what are common things which you can play around, and then try building on what can be the few of the weaknesses over there. So great job, Shubham, on that. And let's
Yeah.
talk about this interview journey now. So were you getting calls from the company, different companies, or how did the entire interview happen at Solve, right? Please let us know more about it.
Yeah, sure. So no, unfortunately, Sugat, I even after tweaking my resume, I wasn't getting calls for the PM role. So I mean, I got into Solve by using the referral way. I spoke to a lot of my friends who were already PM, and I passed on my resume to them and asked them for a referral. And that's how I got into the interviewing room for Solve, where I was lucky enough to crack it. And I would thank the person across the table to understand my keenness for this role, because you can't fake it. I mean, it's very apparent that you had no background to it, but you were trying to map the skills, are showing the individual that you acquired the required skills, and then are trying to convince him or her as to you will be able to deliver it. So as far as calls go, no, I wasn't getting any calls, and although I was getting calls for operations and supply chain roles in the business part, but not for the PM role. So yeah, I will then jump on to explaining how my interview experience was at Solve. But before that, I would just want to tell what Solve is all about, or what is that firm called Solve trying to achieve. So basically, Solve is a firm which has been originated. It's a child firm of Standard Chartered Ventures, and it is basically a B2B e-com platform. Uh, Not just in India, but in the plan is to move to several Southeast Asian and African countries with the tech stack entirely being developed in India. And currently, Solve is into FMCG, home furnishing, and apparel software products and consumer electronics products. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go into the numbers at this point of time what it has been doing, but to name a few competitors, Udan, Jumbotail, the B2B arm of Amazon, if you could take, is could also be a competitor to Solv. And okay, yeah, now coming on to how was the interview experience at Solv? So after a friend of mine was already working there. He helped me with the referral. After that, I had a call with HR, and the main after that, it was a basically four main round process till my selection. The first round being with the hiring manager there. So in that round, he tried to understand my experience. He tried to understand that why I was wanting to become a product manager, or what is something that excites me about product management. And finally, we discussed about what Solv is, and finally a case study was this is what all happened in that 40 minutes with the hiring manager. So case study was all about a very specific case study to the Solv business itself, that Solv has a certain GMV and it was trying to be profitable at a very early stage, or trying to at least focus on profitability. So how would I approach the problem? And basically wanted me to focus more on the supply chain side. So trying to understand uh, what what is the revenue model first. That it's Solv is basically a marketplace, so it's not an inventory led model as of now, and it earns its revenue from the commission that sellers pay. And there are several buy now pay later services which also fetch Solv the revenue. So that revenue is expensed out in delivering the goods mainly. So the cost head is the supply chain or the logistics part of any e-com firm is what I would say, one of the major cost heads. So how what would be the what kind of products as a PM I could make or I could deliver, which could bring cost synergies and lower down the cost is basically what we focused in the case study here. Round two was with the director of product manager. Again, after a brief introduction and why I was wanting to join Solv, we ended up doing a case study here. The case study was again somewhat specific to Solv, where the plan, as I said, that Solv will expand to certain geographies that is already present now in Kenya as we speak. So what from the tech stack point of view, how could I as a product manager build products which are directly exportable to the Solv Kenya or whatever Solv X country where we step into, so that there are synergies between all of them. This is what we focus in that case study. Round three was with the engineering manager. So he tried to judge me or my understanding on the software development life cycle, because it was very clear from my resume that I had no clue, or I haven't worked close with the techies. So he was a bit surprised as to why I was even being offered that seat after my introduction, and after getting to know what bit I know about the software development life cycle. He threw me certain questions, hypothetical questions around situations which dealt with stakeholder management, and then we ended that interview with a guesstimate question. Solv being from Bangalore, he ended up me asking that how are you going to deal with the number of cars, or how are you going to deal with traffic, and then he wanted me to estimate the number of cars that are flying in Bangalore. And the final round here was with the operations team, which I was actually, I have work experience where. So the head of supply chain of the firm was interviewing me. So he was very keen to know that why I was making this transition, because I was, according to him, more fit for an operations role rather than a product manager role. And we ended up talking more in detail as to, how, what could be the cost heads, and how could I establish a supply chain for an e-com firm, and what are the points to monitor, and quite a few things in detail for as far as the operations goes. So he was basically trying to judge my knowledge of operations and supply chain. So after these 4 rounds, I ended up at Solv.
Great, Shubham. I think, congratulations and kudos on breaking into product management. And I wish you all the very best for, for your long string at the PM career, and you do best out of it. One
Thank
thing which, when you were talking about this particular interview process, I think what came to my mind was, there are a few companies who actually try to also judge you on the domain knowledge, and some companies go with the pure play PM skills. I think Solve has a good mix of both domain as well as the PM skills. So this is one thing you should all watch out for, that in interviews it's not always the hardcore PM skills, but sometimes it can also test your domain knowledge. So just for the last round which happened with Shubham was the hardcore the operations and supply chain background. Since he was from that background, the company wanted to test him on the domain thing as well. So this is kind of a few general interview process which happens across different companies. And it was really great talking to you, Shubham. Thanks a lot for coming to the channel and sharing your entire journey. And for the folks who are here, please like, share, and subscribe this channel, so that there are many people who can get help out of this channel and break into your dream career. Uh, till then, thank you so much, and yeah, see you in the next upcoming videos.
you, Sugar. Thank you, everyone.